Hello? Okay, hello. Everyone should be able to hear me now. Apologies for the delay. I am trying to prepare a additional surprise for us, but it didn't go as smoothly as I thought. I'm just gonna give us some time so I can wrap that up and so that people can start showing up to watch awards. Feel free to just kind of chat in the meantime. Um, I don't know. I see PB, I see Stanley in chat. I'm just gonna try and interact with and read off chat while we're killing some time here. Um, just trying to do my best to catch up on everything else that I need to do. And apologies for the delay again. It's not the goal for sure. I think Korn and Stav might be the two people who have an inkling at what the surprise is. So feel free to like interrogate them and try and figure it out. But you know, civil. Dr. Pepper wins season. Oh, true. Yeah, that's the surprise. I forgot. I forgot to say that he was in the running actually. Stanley's organs are being harvested. This is great. The stocks for organs have never been higher. So this is actually good. Jacob is in chat, I guess. I'm seeing some hi Jacobs coming out in chat. Season we bet it all on awards. Oh, Jacob has already been in chat. I'm gonna give it a bit, see if we can hit 10 viewers. Before we start going. But again, I'm just kind of trying to stall out until we can get so I can wrap up the other thing that I'm trying to finish, but we may just have to delay it a little bit. Making things in Photoshop is not the fastest when you want it to be quick, is all I'm gonna say here. Okay, my fucking computer is just completely given up on me, I guess. Okay, going to scrap this then, and just do awards. And if we have more time after awards, I will figure out how to do this in a more intelligent way. Is anyone here a mod that would like to help me out with the gambas, because that may be easier? But actually, never mind. I remember I can't do it that way without exposing the results to someone, which is not the goal. But okay. Does anyone care what we start with? I forget what the established order that we've been going in is. I think it was flex player and then sixth player and then most improved, then teammate, and then the second team, first team MVP. If that's the award that we're good with, start with MVP. Boo, bad idea. Okay, Jacob was trolling. Okay, I am just going to do what I said I was going to do originally, which means that we are starting with the. I think sixth player is probably a better one to start with. So, okay, how do I start a prediction? Start a prediction. Okay, and we are doing sixth player. And let me make sure that I'm doing this the right way. The top 5 voting results in alphabetical order were Garrett, Hong Baba, Joey, Rex, and Vic. And I'm going to do a minute for each. Although maybe 30 seconds is better. I don't know. There's like 15 awards, so 15 minutes is probably fine. But looking at the prediction, no one has put anything in yet, so hopefully they're working and people are able to vote. Okay, there we go. Money's put down on Rex. It's just 10 channel points so far. More going down on Rex. Someone just dropped 1,000 on Hongbobo. We got some betters in chat here. 10 going down for Garrett. The payoff, if these Rex voters are correct, is going to be huge. But it looks like time is ticking down. Oh, and last minute, huge splurge onto Joey. Trying to even this out. Okay, and going to reveal 6th player. It is represented by Jinx, which probably means this is Hong Baba. So congratulations to Hong for winning the 6th player. It was a kind of tight race at the top. It started off not super close and then did closen up a little bit. But congrats to Hong. Okay, and then we are moving on to Flex Player. So for Flex Player, there are only 4 options, so I'm just going to put those options on there. And that would be Eric O, Jonah, Psycho Carrot, and Sarverus. And again, give it a minute, and we will see who the votes come down to. And I'm just going to do my glazing while the next prediction is running. But Hong did only sub in for 2 series, but had outstanding performances, played very good in the ADC role, and was able to grab a series. Unfortunately, did not win the other one, but was able to account for half of his team's wins. Some money on Jonah. If you bet on Jonah right now, you get 500 times the payout out. A lot of money down Sarverus. Someone just slammed 5K, but now there's 10K on Sarverus. Some people are just putting peanuts on Jonah and Psycho Carrot, trying to get something done. Try to double their money, or not double it, multiply it by hundreds. More money down on Psycho Carrot. Noam said not Fujer. No, Fujer qualified for multiple roles, which is different. But yes, okay. Looks like 99% of the voting went to Sarverus, and time to reveal the Flex Player, represented by Gwen. It is none other than Sarverus, so congratulations to Sarverus. He was able to perform super well in both jungle and top, and I believe he got some mid games in as well. That could be a lie. I apologize, but he performed out of his mind this season. He did super well. So glad I get to shout him out there. And we will move on to best teammate for the next one. Once again, just going to show the top 5 options. So in alphabetical order, we have Apari, we have Korn, we have Fujer, we have Kathy, and we have PB. So 1 minute going for these. But yes, will not be doing predictions for the 2 MP awards. For MVP, there is the possibility of a tie, and I don't know how to program that in there. And I will leak a little bit early that most improved player is also has the possibility of being a tie. So not going to run predictions for that either. This one is perfectly split so far. We have about 4,000 on both Korn and Fujer. The prediction is timing down as we speak. And we are timed out, so time to reveal the best teammate, who is represented by Sejuani. And that means it's going to be Fujer. But yes, I mean, teammate is always a super close race. There's not a very clear option for a lot. We had votes go to 32 different players. You know, it's all good. I feel like all these players are probably solid candidates, but Fujer was able to get the most by half a point with 4.25 total points for best teammate. Metabusters bias votes because there's so many Metabusters players. Stanley says that when his team literally has more players than Metabusters does, which makes sense. Top responding team was Fruitcakes. Let's at least be accurate if we're gonna call people out like that. Stanley, get ratioed. L plus ratio. Arnie put all of his money on Gorn because Stav encouraged him. Okay, I will make sure I pay out this correct. And there we go to Fujer. And so no prediction for most improved player. But for most improved, I do want to shout out our 2 winners represented by Hui and Lux. These are none other than Evan and Lithi. Evan did perform super solidly last season on ADC, but now has been popping off as the Rift Sharks ADC. We've seen him on some mages, we've seen him on some Neela, we've seen him on some marksmen, we've seen him on a lot of different things. PV saying Evan improved with question marks. I may or may not share that sentiment, but we'll have to see. But Lithi definitely showing up huge this season. Previously, I'd only played a couple support games and signups. This might be her first season of team format. I'm not entirely sure. But now we're seeing her open up more roles. We're seeing the ADC open up as well. A lot of really good Caitlyn gameplay. I think Lux just narrowly edged Caitlyn out in number of wins with the Mage Bot games recently. She was Andromeda sub, but I don't remember if she played or not is my question. But regardless, huge improvement there. Getting to see her shine a lot in team format games has been really exciting. So glad to get to shout her out. And then I forget how we've done the predictions for first and second team, but I am. Well, we're gonna try a different way. We're just gonna go down the line for top jungle mid bot support, and I'm just gonna put top 5 options, and we'll just reveal second and first at the same time. I think that might be the best way to do it. Okay, so anyway, for top lane, the top 5 options in alphabetical order are Arnie. Actually, for these, I'm just going to do all the options because if we do top 5, it's likely that we just exclude one person, and that's kind of fucked up. But we have Arnie, we have Bean, we have Corn, we have... Oh, I completely forgot about Avery. Avery is alphabetically before Bean, and then Fujer is our last alphabetically, so they're all in the first 6 letters of the alphabet, which makes sense. Yeah, so predictions for first team. And then we're just going to reveal second, and then first once the prediction is done. Oh my goodness, someone just dropped 24K on Avery. That is a bold move there. Okay, Arnie says he's broke. Core number 1, Avery 2 are his predictions. Fujer has some money down on him. More going down onto Fujer. And looks like we have a couple people voting for both Avery and a couple people voting for Fujer. Time is ticking down. All right, and it should be running out here in a sec. Alrighty. Okay, so to reveal second team first, if I remember the order, yes. So second team is represented by Gragas. Who is Fuger? Of course. Performed very well in this Gragas pick, has insane mechanics, knows exactly where to cast. Does very well, performed outstandingly this season. And that does mean that our first place, represented by Darius, is none other than Avery, who has been dominating in the top lane this season. I'm a bit biased since he is my top laner, but I feel like he's been doing very well. I didn't get to vote for him, obviously, but he, I believe, more than doubled anyone else in the voting. Seems to be a very obvious candidate here, so shout out. Avery performed very, very well this season, has played a bit of variety of picks and performed well on pretty much everything. So shout out to him. Moving on to jungle. The jungle options in alphabetical order. We have Pari. We have Fuger. We have Jar, and we have no. This is really testing my alphabet skills. I'm failing the skill check for sure. Fuger saying me over Korn is not right, and Korn says the people have spoken. Okay. Noam saying he thinks it's Apari, then Fuger. No one's predicted yet. But once again, the options are Apari, Fuger, Jar, and then Noam. I will say this race was super close. Everyone was within 16 points with like an average of like 11 or 12 points. Or everyone was within 6 points. I don't know if I said 16. I think I might have said 16. But everyone was close. No one had like double anyone's score or anything. Everyone was pretty much in contention here. So it was very, very fun to watch. And yes, Jacob is pointing out that Fuger has the opportunity to maybe win all scrims in multiple roles. I'm not sure if that's even been done before, so it would be super cool if that were to happen. And submissions are closed, so I am going to go ahead and reveal the second jungler, which is represented by Viego. That's got to be Apari. Pari has had some outstanding performances this season. I think he ended the season on like a 17-1 and 14 Viego game or something. Please correct me on the KDA if you know, but it was ridiculous. He did so well. Has a variety of picks too. That Kane's permabanned against him pretty much every game. We've seen the set, and we've seen a couple others. Has had a very solid season. And as we've seen some predictions in chat, that does in fact mean that Fuger is the first team all scrims jungler, represented by Jarvan here. We see him 3 times on this awards page, and he's got 3 different champions. Guy has a bit of a champion ocean, performing very well. And yes, I do believe he is probably the first player to get multiple all scrims awards in the same season. Could still be in the running for more awards today. And I think if he were to grab MVP, that would make him the first player to have 4 awards in the same season. So definitely get hype for Fuger. He's had a very, very solid season here in Season 8. But going to choose the outcome there. And unfortunately, the 75% that went on to Apari is going to get given to the Fuger voters. That does mean that we're going to mid lane. This one was really close, except for first place. But the last 4 were voted pretty similar. But going to start the prediction here for middle. And our candidates are in alphabetical order. We have Dean, we have Kai, we have Stanley, we have Taxi, and we have Tusini. And we have a minute to vote on this one. And this is 100% Tusini, and there is 33.7K on this. This is ridiculous. Stanley appreciates making it onto the candidate list, is what he is saying. I also appreciate being on the candidate list. Someone put 10 on Taxi. The return on investment here would be 12.27K per point. Tusini currently has 123,000 points on him. This is ridiculous. Gonna give it a couple more seconds if anyone else wants to submit anything. But it looks like we're not going to, and submissions are going to end. So with 0% of the predictions represented by Lissandra, we have Taxi as the second team mid laner. This guy has been a bit of a draft mastermind this season, has picked Lissandra in a couple very good spots that were good Lissandra spots. He doesn't like playing Lissandra, but unfortunately that was his most winning champion. But he has played a lot of different champions in the games that he's been able to play on 101 Thieves. Very much looking forward to getting to see more out of him in the playoffs. A very exciting player to watch. And I guess that does make it a bit obvious that our first team is none other than Tusini, represented by Aurora here. Hands down, best mid this season. Not voted with as high of a cap as Avery, but I think that just speaks to the competition that he had here, and he was still able to come out on top against pretty much every other mid laner. And it wasn't really super close. So shout out to Tusini there. Really good season from him. But go ahead and choose the outcome there. Tusini is the correct answer. And now we are going to the bot lane. Okay, then starting the prediction here for bot in alphabetical order. This was our largest category. We have Evan. We have Honan. We have Kathy, Lithy, Stav, and Will. And I am getting griefed by Twitch, so they're going to be out of alphabetical order, but that's not for any real reason. But this one's very exciting. I feel like we had a lot of different play styles coming from the ADCs this season. No one's really super comparable to each other. But we've definitely had some very successful games out of all these players. Definitely had a lot of games this season where it's like bot lane's doing well, the rest of the team isn't for a couple teams. So I think that just gives a lot of credit to these ADCs. And I believe both Honan and Lithy have also played a lot of support, just weren't in the support voting because of the amount of games that they ended up playing for ADC. Submissions are about to end, and it is one channel point on Evan, 4.2K on Stav, and 10 on Lithy. And to reveal the second team, represented by Hui, we do have Evan. Don't need to speak too much on Evan, as we already kind of gassed him up from Most Improved Player, but a wide variety of picks that we're seeing from him. Pretty consistent performance, and able to just completely take over games if the opportunity presents itself. Started off the season with a solid Draven pick. And then the number one player, represented by Jinx, it's not Teddy, it's Stav. And he has been completely destroying this season. Very hard to match. I don't know. I don't have too much to say about it. It's been an ADC meta, and he has been super successful. And I think we have to give credit where credit is due there. And we are kind of running low on time to get to the series, so I'm just going to try to go a little quicker here. Less glazing. You know how it is. And then our last prediction that we're going to run is here for support. And the 4 candidates for this in alphabetical order are Dominic, Eden, Jacob, and PB. And we have a minute to predict on this one. Jacob saying he fears he will end the streak of Metabusters being on the All Scrims team. Everyone is hyping up Metabusters. Jonas saying it feels bad that he has to qualify for Jungle for the past 2 seasons. That's true. And then Corn saying no shot. Jacob isn't on it. We got some points on Eden. We got some points on Jacob. We got some points on PB. Where's the love for Dominic, man? Dominic's had a great season. A lot of really fun picks coming out from him. Kind of defined the meta on his own a bit in a few of the series. Do want to shout him out, even if the 101 Thieves voters are not showing up. And there is 55.1k on PB here. And I'm just going to wrap up the submissions real quick. Second place goes to our favorite Nami player. That's going to be Jacob. Unfortunately, not joining Stav on that first team spot, but has played a huge part in that bot lane success, able to perform on the Nami, which has been used to go well with ADCs on his team and deny them away from mage players on other teams. And we've also seen him whip out some more engagey type champions. Very solid player and had a very good season. And I think not super surprising, number 1 is going to be PB, who is represented by Nautilus here, but the 2 bot lanes kind of flip-flopping in the bot and support categories, but both of these bot lanes have performed very well this season, and it's always a fun match watching them play against each other. Jacob saying he's so happy he didn't lose 50k channel points for being first, but going to choose the outcome here. And last, and definitely not least, it is time to reveal the MVP. We had a server vote to determine if there would be a tie, if these 2 players were basically still tied at the end of it. Will kind of go up from the, I can't count, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do, oh, okay, it's not sorted correctly anymore. Oops, one sec. And going from total percent of the voting, I'm going to cover everyone who received more than 5% of the vote share. So if I can count, this is 8th. We do have Kai, who received 2 game MVPs and 2.5 MVP votes for a total of 5.01%. Then we have Stav in 7th, 3 game MVPs and 1.25 MVP votes for 5.21% of the total vote. Then in 6th, we have Avery, who received 2 game MVPs and 3 MVP votes, putting him at 5.47% of the total voting. Then in 5th, we have Apari, who had 2 game MVPs and 4 MVP votes, putting him at 6.39% of the total MVP voting. In 4th, we have Dean with 3 game MVPs and 3 MVP votes, putting me at 6.82% of the total MVP voting. And going to skip 3rd place, because that would give it away. And our 2 top players with respectively 2 game MVPs and 8.75 MVP votes for 10.77% of the MVP voting, and then 3 game MVPs and 7.25 MVP votes for 10.74% of the total voting. That's a tie. I do not care about the 0.03. That's going to be Tusini and Sarverus, represented here by Aurora and Gwen. I think the big case for Tusini is just how dominant he's been in the mid lane. They've been able to win a lot of their games through his performances. He's played super well. Definitely arguably best player on the best team. And then for Sarverus, you have the kind of opposite way to look at MVP votes, where they're not necessarily the top team, but if you remove Sarverus off of Andromeda, they are definitely going to struggle a little bit. He's had a huge impact and has carried many games for them. So I think The server has decided that both of these players are deserving of the MVP award this season. So shout out to both of them, performing very well. And now I can just go ahead and reveal third. That was Fujer with 3 game MVPs and 5.25 MVP votes, giving him 8.89% of the total voting. But yeah, congratulations to everyone on this board. And we should be getting into games soon for our first match of the playoffs. So everyone tune in for Fruitcakes versus 101 Thieves. And I'm going to cut stream and I will be right back and check Hall of Fame. I'm about to send this in there.